What's up, everybody? My name is Justin, and welcome back to another episode of Whiskey Tears. On today's video, we're doing the Heaven Hill Grain to Glass Rye. Okay, so if you didn't see it, I recently did the Heaven Hill Grain to Glass Wheated Bourbon. Now I'm on to the Heaven Hill Grain to Glass Rye. I got this recently for $109, so this one I found for $10 cheaper than the wheated. But hey, this one's coming in at 61.6%, which makes it 123.2 proof, which is about 2 points higher than the wheated. It says distilled 2017, released 2024, so probably around that same 6 to 7 year age range. It says age range. It says it's 63% rye, 24% corn, and 13% malt. So it looks like this is a grain that they hand selected out of central Kentucky from a farm somewhere. So I'm really excited to get into it. I enjoyed the last one a lot. Let's go ahead and pop the bottle, get the nosing straight out of the bottle. All right, here we go. Nosing out of the bottle. It has been open for probably 6 days now. Super rich, kind of a spicy chocolate. A spicy rye chocolate, or it could be like one of those really big seeded rye breads. A little bit of caramel in there. Something weird that I don't know what the smell is yet either, so we'll try and pour it into the glass and then get the nosing and the tasting from there. Just a terrible pour job. Excuse me for wasting whiskey. Alright, let's spin this thing around a little bit. While I'm spinning it around, if you guys could do me one huge favor, hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel. It means a lot for me. Those two things are absolutely free to you. And if you want to go that extra step, hit that join button down below. You get a little badge next to your name, and you get access to every one of these videos early. It's $2 a month. Made it real cheap, but every little bit helps. Continue buying bottles. So, nosing straight out of the glass. Definitely more of that rye bread now on the nose than the chocolatey that I got earlier. Maybe a little bit of orange peel. Hint of wood. But a lot of that rye. A whole lot of that rye on there. And it smells exactly what a piece of rye bread, like you would expect that to smell like, but maybe if it had more sweetness to it. Maybe some hints of like a dandelion, how a dandelion smells, and some honey in there too. Alright, well, I'm excited to try it. I really enjoyed the wheated. I've heard this one is just as good, and I've heard kind of mixed reviews so far on the regular bourbon release. So we'll see how it does today. Cheers, everybody. Okay, first thing is that super oily and viscous up front. I don't remember getting that as much on the wheated, but super oily and viscous. Super oily and viscous. Sorry, I'm having trouble to talk right now, but super oily, super viscous, and it's got... My first initial thought was, wow, that's oily, and second initial thought was, I liked it. So we'll see where we can go in the notes from here. A lot of rye. A lot of rye with like a small overtone of like a vanilla caramel. But man, so much rye. The rye is just still lingering in there. It kind of tastes like like you just had the rye seeds, and it wasn't really didn't have any other flavors influencing it at all. It tastes like grain to glass, straight rye. It does leave a little bit of a strange note on the end, almost like a little bit of a strange note on the end, because it's kind of like that rye that hangs around for a long time, but if it had the aftertaste of like a cold medicine. Which doesn't sound very appealing. I think that's going to be my issue with this one is don't overly love the finish on it. Just so much rye. So much rye that it's on the verge of... I don't know, this is obviously not like a 95.5. It has technically more rye in it. But this, I think, is the most straight rye that I've ever gotten on a flavor. And the first couple sips, I really enjoyed it. But now, it's turning into like this weird aftertaste, which I don't like as much. Yeah, it's pretty good up front. I enjoy it up front, but as it transitions into
TCBP.
the aftertaste, I don't like that as much.
TCBP.
Alright, we're going to get ready and rank this thing on the tier system, popping up right there. That's how I rank everything. I believe I gave the wheated an A, because I really enjoyed the wheated. This one is not going to be up there with that. The finish and the aftertaste is just not up my alley. It's a hard time I'm having coming up with something to describe it, but it's just not my jam. It's got some really good notes up front, but the rye takes over so much so quick, you know. It's just overly rye. Like, I love rye. Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof Rye is probably my favorite go-to drinker. That
TCBP
like,
light volume,
not cheap, but not gonna break the bank either. So it's not that I don't like rye. It's just this one is super rye. All right, let's go ahead and rank this thing. One last cheer, everybody. Cheer. One last drink, everybody. Yeah, I think I got it. Today, the Heaven Hill Grain to Glass Rye, obviously from Heaven Hill, coming in at 123.2 proof, aged 6 to 7-ish years, and with that rye mash bill on there, $109. Would I pay that for this particular grain to glass? I would not. So on the well, it's going on the C tier. I can't speak today, guys. I don't know what's going on. On the tier list, it's going on the C tier. That's where I'm going to put this one today. Really enjoyed the other one better. I would be interested in trying the bourbon one now, just to see, you know, comparatively, is the wheated really that much better? Or maybe I'm just having an off-palate day. Maybe I'll have to come back to that one in the future and try it again. But that's it. It's going on the C tier for me today. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you for your next drink.